Hey guys, NASCAR Fantastic here, and after the Bristol night race, we've got a lot to talk about. To give you a rundown of the show, we're going to be talking about the top 20 finishers, the playoff grid, Bubble Trouble, Toyota's Masterclass, and of course, the on-track product itself. Okay folks, to start the show, let's take a look at our top 20 finishers. Your race winner, Denny Hamlin, great fight from 2 laps down, battled adversity all night. Matt DiBenedetto, career best finish, great run for that team. Brad Keselowski in third. Fourth, Kyle Busch, battled from a lap down. He fought adversity in the first and second stage. Your fifth place finisher, Chase Elliott, ran well, but he faded in the end. Sixth place, Kyle Larson, he was your stage 1 winner. Seventh place, Clint Bowyer. He spun early, but clawed back some positions to help his playoff campaign. Suarez, it's a good points day for him. He's back in the playoffs now. Kurt Busch, stage 2 winner. It's a stage sweep for Chip Ganassi Racing. Ryan Blaney, involved in a wreck at stage 2, and put up a good fight to get his top 10. So that's your top 10. And as we move on, we see Ryan Newman in 11th place. A very consistent Ryan Newman sort of day. Kind of bummed that he got up and, he hit Matt DiBenedetto in those closing laps, which sort of, took away his chances of winning. But 12th place, Daniel Hemrick. 13th, Martin Truex Jr. Should have had a better finish, but he hit the wall after having a flat tire. Bubba Wallace Jr., solid day. Alex Bowman, 15th. Hendrick didn't really have a sort of presence today. 16th, Joey Logano. He had a flat tire early and had to come to pit road. 17th, Chris Buescher. 18th, Ryan Preece. 19th, Jimmy Johnson. Contact with Austin Dillon early when Dillon brake checked him. And 20th place, Ty Dillon. Not a bad day, but some notable finishers outside the top 20. Austin Dillon in that collision with Jimmy Johnson. Kevin Harvick had switched transmissions after having his break. Stenhouse Jr. having a solid day, got in a wreck. Eric Jones having a very good day, but then got put in a wall. Okay, folks, that concludes your top 20 notable finishers. Now, let's move on to the playoff grid. So, with 2 races remaining, you have Kyle Busch in first place with 4 wins, Hamlin second, also 4 wins, Truex Jr. in third, also with 4 wins. Joe Gibbs is definitely having a very good season. Eric Jones, he still hasn't won, but he is definitely performing well. He's had 4 top 3 finishes this season alone. And 4th place, you have Keselowski with 3 wins, Logano with 2, Harvick with 2, Elliott with 2, Kurt Busch, 1 win, Alex Bowman with 1 win. And now 10th through 20th. That's where it gets interesting. Blaney is 97 points to the good. He's nearly locked in. Larson, 76 points to the good. Byron, 75 points to the good. Almirola, 65 points to the good. Jones, 57 points to the good. These guys are all at least a race worth of points ahead of the cutoff line. They're fine. But 15th, Ryan Newman is 14 points to the good after a very consistent, solid day. 16th, Daniel Suarez, 2 points to the good after an 8th place run. Good for him. Bowyer, he's now only 2 points out of the playoffs. Johnson, minus 26. He's making mistakes that he didn't make early in his career. In these past couple weeks at Kentucky, Michigan, Bristol, he didn't make these mistakes when he was going after his 7 championships, He was just lost his focus on the track. In 19th, you have Menard, 71 points back, and 20th, Buescher, 85 points back. Now, the grid would have gotten all shaken up if Matt DiBenedetto had won, because he's outside the top 20 of points right now. It seems no matter where we go, the people in the bubble of the playoffs seem to still be having trouble, And in Tennessee, we saw more of this bubble trouble for some of these guys in the cut line. So Johnson wrecked early. Bowyer spun his car, nearly collecting Suarez. Newman having a consistent day. He's just finishing right outside the top 10. That's how he's going to get in. He has just been racking up 10 through 14 place finishes. He hasn't finished outside the top 25, hasn't had 1 DNF this season. That veteran sort of driver in Newman is definitely capitalizing on these new aero packages. A lot of the drivers we see at the top in the standings are veterans. Harvick, Kyle Busch, Newman's doing well. He's beating Hendrick equipment and Roush equipment. Newman is definitely a seasoned veteran of NASCAR, and it seems to be universal. All these veterans are doing well. Okay, it's time to talk about Toyota's performance at Bristol. You could definitely call them the class in the field. It was a Toyota Masterclass. They definitely had some of the fastest cars out on the track at a lot of times. In the beginning, Truex had a really fast car, although he doesn't usually run well there. Kyle Busch cutting his way through traffic, coming home in a fourth place finish after some things going his way. You had Jones, who had a really fast car, but then sadly he got put in the wall. And you also have, DiBenedetto taking the lead. He had a very fast car for a while until he got hit by Newman, sadly. And Hamlin had the fastest car, and he ran DiBenedetto down and got the race win. And, more on Toyota drivers after the race, Denny Hamlin said he was sorry to all the guys. His ex-crew chief, Mike Wheeler, on the top of the 95 box, he was sorry to Matt DiBenedetto. He didn't really need to say that because, he had the faster car and he passed him for the win. I mean, there's nothing else to it. But definitely a very classy move, definitely a well-respected gesture by Denny Hamlin, so kudos to him. After Matty D's performance tonight, he definitely deserves a ride. DiBenedetto is a crazy good wheelman. He has definitely taken this team leaps and bounds, Levi Family Racing, I know they have a slight alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing, but it's not the same deal Truex was on, in 2017, where he just demolished the field. DiBenedetto is really working for everything he's had. He's driving for his career. This man deserves a good ride. I'm not sure why it's so hard to find for him. He deserves everything he's gotten in his career. He has had to scrape and claw for it. So, although it does suck that they aren't, making room for Christopher Bell, I feel like a lot of us fans wish that, they wouldn't and that they would keep DiBenedetto because he has just outperformed his equipment this year. And he's the incredible wheelman who just is deserving of everything he's ever earned. Like, he's not, like, a crazy funded driver who just gets good rides for having backing like Suarez does. If you gave DiBenedetto the same equipment Suarez does, I guarantee you DiBenedetto would have some more wins. So, it's sad that, he just doesn't have the sponsorship. Anyway, guys, so time to move on to the on-track product and rating the race. So, this was definitely an amazing, stellar performance by a lot of drivers. This was a very good race. What made this race very interesting was the fact that you never really knew who had the fastest car on the track. Because this is a night race, so the track adapts. So if you have the fastest car at the beginning, you're not going to have the fastest car in like the last 20 laps. So it's just definitely an interesting aspect of tonight. But overall, we saw a lot of, beating and banging. It is Bristol. There was definitely a lot of side-by-side racing. Traffic definitely came into who could pass who. It was a lot about taking lines through traffic. So we saw a few guys, make some moves like that. Hamlin eventually made the move on DiBenedetto in traffic. There's nothing DiBenedetto could have done. He was committed to that line, and Hamlin just, capitalized on his being slowed down. In tonight's race, we saw a lot of good battles for the lead, as well as other positions. Like, even the announcers said, like, they weren't even sure which battle to watch, and frankly, I wasn't either. It was a very intense form of racing. I liked it a lot. So I would give this race definitely a 90 out of 100. Bristol always puts on a fine show for the fans, and it's Bristol, baby. But let's talk about the upcoming tracks on the schedule. So we have these 3 prestigious races in a row: Bristol Night Race, Darlington Southern 500, and the Indianapolis Brickyard 400. All tracks with a lot of history behind them. So we should see some good fighting to get these drivers' names in history. I'm excited to see all the throwback schemes on the track at Darlington and Indy final regular season race. Could someone like Johnson, Suarez, maybe Paul Menard steal another win? Who knows? But thanks for watching, guys. This is NASCAR Fantastic, signing off.